Hey guys, Gradigy here, and this week's review is Nextwave, Agents of H.A.T.E. It's from the new Giant Size X-Men set. There's 5 figures, and I'll go over them now. We have Aaron Stack, or Machine Man as he's more commonly known, at 106 points. Elsa Bloodstone at 73 points. Tabitha Smith, she used to go by Boom Boom or Meltdown at 58 points. Monica Rambeau, she used to go by Captain Marvel for a little while, and I think Photon, and she has 139 points. And the Captain, who has gone by a name that I can't say because it is very vulgar, and Captain America beat him up when he told him it. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Oh, by the way, they do add up to an even 500, which is really nice. My Chihuahua better shut up before I eat him. Anyway, we got Machine Man here, who I like. He's got kind of a nice style. He's kind of a he's kind of a nice brick, but at the same time he has other uses as well. He's 8'10", 18'3", with charged super strength and invuln. And you notice he goes immediately off invuln, which I don't like at all, to defend and exploit weakness. So I wish that he had exploit on his first click where he still had 10 attack, but now he's only got 9. He goes to leap climb and Blades Claws with defend and exploit weakness still, which is nice. Blades Claws and exploit weakness is a nice combination. Then he loses another defense. He loses exploit weakness, but, you know, Blades Claws is nice by itself. And then he gains this white box that gives him, essentially he gets 2 lightning bolts and his range becomes whatever click number he's on. So he's on click 5, which you can't really see, sort of, kind of. And he has Psychic Blast, so he's got a 5 range with Psychic Blast, 2 lightning bolts, invuln, 3 damage. And he's on his next click, so his range goes up by 1. He's still got that white box. It was Psychic Blast, only 2 damage now, but it's still Psychic Blast, so it's going to go through. He goes off invuln straight into regen. But he's got 7 range now. And then he loses Psychic Blast, and he's got 8 range, 8 attack, 16 defense, 2 damage. And that's the end of Machine Man. He is indomitable, though, which is nice. Always a nice feature on any fig. And then we move on to Elsa Bloodstone, who doesn't have any white boxes, but she has a trait. It's similar to the Monster Hunter Feat card. She deals penetrating to characters over 250 points. She modifies her attack value by +2 when attacking characters who possess the giant symbol, colossal symbol, or the monster keyword. Pretty nice, especially in this set where you're going to end up fighting, you know, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to fight some Colossals in Sealed or something, or at your venue, so she's going to kind of do really well there. See, she's got 8 attack, 8 movement, 11 attack, or 13 if you're fighting a monster, giant, or colossal. And those don't stack, it says or, so if it's a giant monster, then she doesn't get +4. But she's got charged Blades Claws and combat reflexes with 6 range. Still has charge and Blades Claws. Loses a damage and an attack, but yeah, she gains 2 movement, so that's nice. And you're not really worried about that damage number because you're going to be Blades Clawsing. So she loses combat reflexes, gains a natural defense, which is nice, and she gains willpower. There she loses a defense and 2 movement. Yeah, 2 movement. But she gains exploit weakness back, which is nice. She loses charge and Blades Claws. Still has exploit weakness, though. Then she gains flurry and gets her combat reflexes back. I don't think she had that on the click before. Yeah, she did. Loses exploit weakness, but she's still doing penetrating to those big figs. Then she gets regen and flurry. Gets another damage. And remember, all these attack values, you get a +2 if they're a giant monster or colossal, so she never dips below 11. 7 clicks deep is pretty nice for 73 points. And next we have Tabitha Smith, who I will always call Boom Boom. and that is my phone. I will mute it. Boom Boom has Time Bomb. Give Tabitha Smith a power action and place up to 2 hindering terrain markers in non-adjacent squares that aren't blocking terrain within range and line of fire. At the beginning of your next turn, remove them from the game and deal 2 damage to each character occupying one of those squares and 1 damage to each character adjacent to one or more of those squares. So if it blows up and they're next to 2 of them, they're still only going to get 1 damage because it says 1 or more. So if 2 of them blow up next to 1 character, it's still only going to be 1. So let's look right at her. 8, 10, 17, 3 with energy shield and 3 damage, 8 movement, 10 attack, 19 defense if they're at range. She loses that white box immediately. She has running shot, then an energy explosion. She loses a damage, which is kind of bad. But if you're using energy explosion, it's not too bad. So it's 1 anyway. Then she loses a defense and an attack. Yeah, loses a defense and an attack. Loses a movement, gains her white box back, and loses another attack. She changes off running shot and energy explosion to straight pulse wave. She also loses energy shield deflection. And then she gains an attack and gains another damage, still has that white box, and then she's dead. So she's 6 clicks deep for 58 points. Not a bad little piece. I'm not a fan of her. She's probably my least favorite out of the 5. But, hey, who am I to judge? And here we have Monica Rambeau, who I don't believe has any white boxes either. No, she doesn't even have a trait. But she has 10 range, so that's nice. Avengers, I think she's the only one with a team ability, and it's Avengers. And I'll tell you why some of the stuff on this fig is redundant, and they could have made her cheaper. Mostly just pertaining to this team. I will tell you right now, the redundancies on her is pertaining to just this 500-point team. So other teams, probably useful. She's got 13 movement with Phase, Pulse Wave, Impervious, and Leadership. Then she moves to Hypersonic, loses a movement, gains an attack, and 2 damage. Now she has Enhancement. She goes down to Invuln, loses a damage, keeps those same kind of powers. Then she gains Psychic Blast, loses another movement, and now she's got the Outwit, the only support power on the team. Basically, both of them come out of this fig, Enhancement and Outwit. And then she goes to Running Shot with Psychic Blast and Outwit, which is always nice. Gains another defense back. And then she's got Range Combat Expert, Combat Reflexes, and Energy Explosion with some nice numbers. Still has pretty nice numbers, loses a defense and a damage, but with Range Combat Expert, I mean, you add +2 to that, so that's not bad. And then she's dead. So she's 7 clicks deep. She's a little shallow for almost 140 points. But that's alright. And the redundancies on this fig is that in a 500-point format, you have 5 movements. And you have 5 characters. You have 5 actions per your turn. She is Avengers, so her movements are going to be free. And she has Leadership. So you're not going to be getting any more actions out of this team anyway. Like I said, that's just on this team. If you play them in another format, play her on an Avengers team or something, then you're fine. And now we have the Captain, who has a really fun special power on his damage. I'm probably not sober enough to pay attention. When the Captain is targeted by an opponent's Outwit or Perplex, roll a d6 that can't be re-rolled. On a roll of 4 through 6, so you got a 50% chance, he ignores that use of Outwit or Perplex. On a roll of 1, that use of Outwit or Perplex counters all of his powers and combat abilities, or modifies all of his combat values respectively. So if you try to outwit his charge, and you roll a 1 for that power, and your opponent rolls a 1, you've outwitted everything on his dial. So even if he takes a click, and he gets different powers, it's still all outwitted. 124 points, 10, 10, 18, 4 with charge, super strength, imperv, and 4 damage. He's a basic brick for the most part. Not a whole lot to talk about. 9, 11, 16, 3, lost 2 defense, went down to Invuln, gained an attack, but he lost a movement, lost a damage as well. And then you can see his numbers kind of flux all over the place. He loses another attack, loses another movement, another couple movement, and goes down to toughness. And there he's got Quake with charge and Invuln. and then he loses charge, has quake, 2 damage from 4 before, down to toughness, and then he goes to this crazy click, 2, 6, 14, 1, with Earthbound, Poison, and Impervious. And then he still has Earthbound, goes back up to Invuln and Battle Fury. He has Charge, 10 attack, 18 defense with Impervious, and 4 damage with Battle Fury, and then he's dead. He's 8 clicks deep. Like I said, your basic brick in pretty much every sense of the term. It seems like it's going to be a really fun team. I hope to play it someday. And it should prove to be good fun. So, that's my team, and that's my dog. And this is me logging off. Play on, guys.